We begin our story looking out over a vast ocean. As we soar over the waters, we rise up higher and higher above the clouds, until the clouds themselves become our vast oceans in the skies. Through the distance, growing nearer and nearer, we see a floating city. As we get closer, we realize it's not floating at all. It's an airship, an entire city as big as the large island made of mechanics and gnome craftsmanship. The hull shining like a metal star when the sun hits it just so. Many small air balloons are traveling to and from these places, carrying supplies to the docks end of the city. An invention we center on called Cambot 407, one of several, stops abruptly in midair, its message light flashing red. Security station urgent. It whirs around, its cogs shifting, and speeds off to the center of the city. Through the streets blackened with coal, soot from the city chimneys, we follow, dodging the city's people, the market stalls, the children selling papers. The security station building in through the window at the desk of Lieutenant Black. He's a square-set man with a handlebar mustache and slicked back hair, and in his uniform, he cuts a stern presence. He rubs his temples as he sits at his desk, looks at Cambot, and says, "It's come to this. We're over our heads this time." He unlocks his drawer and pulls out a box as Cambot hovers, awaiting instructions. 5 letters stamped with the official city seal already written for such an occasion. He takes them, and as he turns to Cambot, he says, "I, Lieutenant Black, of the city of Sanctum, invoke the order of the Guardians." The slot for delivery opens, and the letters vacuum inside quickly, shutting, and Cambot 407 flies through the oil lantern streets to its nearest destination. I'm going to roll a dice to see who we get to see first. We go further down, right behind Sanctum Yard, to the hospital of Sanctum City General, specifically the children's wing, where the little children from the orphanage are being cared for due to an outbreak that took place in the building. Leaning over a child and showing off her colorful attire, Alara Bell, would you tell us what we see when we look at your character?
I am, you'd see, a little short, dark-haired person dressed in feathers with a nice top hat, steampunky kind of glasses, long boots, puffy trousers,
All right.
with a little sword on her back.
Very cute. As Cambot comes up to you, does a bit of a nod down and up as it's programmed to be ever polite. It pops out its first letter, which is a decree. And you know this decree very well. It flies off towards its next destination. I assume you're going to be headed on your way to Sanctum Yard. And I'm going to make another roll. We are going to head down
Place your final bets.
I swear I can get
the back streets onto the gambling hall called the Lucky Ace in the working class parts of town. It's a Western style gambling hall. 407 goes through the swinging saloon doors and scans the crowd. In a corner, a man has just let out a laugh and reached to collect his winnings from the poker table when a card falls out from his sleeve. As you look at the man who's tried to cheat you of your winnings, Virgil, would you describe what we see?
Muted.
See an older gentleman, maybe in his sort of early to mid 40s. He's wearing a more Western style outfit, a wide brimmed cowboy hat, black fitted trousers, waistcoat, pocket watch chain hanging from one side, a long dress jacket, not quite trench coat length, but comes down to about mid-thigh. From the right side, just inside of this jacket as it sort of falls to one side, you can see the handle of a revolver just barely sort of poking through. He's got an eye patch over his left eye. But as this card falls out of his pocket, I stand, call him a cheat. My hand reaches forward and another pistol shoots out from inside my sleeve, a much smaller one. I do not fire. You, sir, are a cheat, and I'll take my winnings, and you'll escape with your life.
And he raises his hands in the air and slowly backs from the table as a lady you know very well behind you pats you on the back and passes you a shot of whiskey. And Cambot very discreetly waits for this interaction to end and whirs up and slips the note in front of you on the table and whirs away. Let's see what dice we got now. We're gonna go up to the market row. We see a toll booth kind of outside the market with a poster above it and a line. The poster reads, "The newest invention from Gnome Industries. Sanity Clean kills all germs it comes in contact with. This clear ooze gel is safe for your skin too. Available for pre-order now. Stop the insanity of germs with Sanity Clean. Order here." And there's a small line. And in this line, Mr. McBarrington, what do we see when we look at you?
So Brel is a
Go ahead.
You're having
I
some
am.
issues.
Go ahead.
So Brel is a medium-sized man. He stands about 5'8". His dress as a tire. He has a top hat on. He is wearing a mask much like this. He is top to bottom dark green, almost olive suit with a red tie, the main splash of colour. And over that suit he wears a long dark green trench coat. He is wearing dark green gloves as well. And on his back is strapped a small shield, and to his side is a small sword, both brandishing small gems. He's looking at the poster and thinking, Such a good idea. I shall take that in note. And he pulls out a little notepad and he writes down some of the information from the poster.
Right. So, as he's writing down the name from the poster, thank you. As he was writing down the name from the poster, he sees this Cambot we're up to him and carefully pop out this letter and hoping that he'll take it. And I'm assuming that as you take it, he's going to whir off, give a little bit of a nod again and whir off. And that leaves us with just one left. And that would be down to the lower half of the city. Hopefully my cameras are going to fix themselves. And as we go to the lower half of the city, we go to a modest neighborhood. The window is letting in a breeze to a bedroom of opulent Eastern furnishings from the Orient. A tall mirror stands and a man is talking to his reflection as if he is in deep conversation with himself. In lieu, we see when Cambot comes up to you.
No, that's enough out of you. No. I won't have it. No. No. Shush. Oh, hey, Kembot. What can I do for you?
Kembot pops out his note and slides it onto the floor. It kind of just pops out at your feet. And he whirs away from the window.
Looks like we have a mission to go to. Okay. No more out of you, though. No.
And as Kembot finishes its delivery, it slows down and hovers over the docks, passing a large billboard picture of the city's founder, Lord Albright, that greets all the ships as they enter the dockyard. And a megaphone-like contraption is constantly spouting information. The city was founded 400 years ago and is run by 367 gnomes in its lower infrastructure, made for the elite of the world to escape the chaos that threatened. Its human populace is closely protected and strictly enforced, maintaining the same cultures of of the past with gnome ingenuity. Therefore, there is no exiting your vessel without proper clearance. Goods are dropped off at Bay 1, and hoverbots will ensure your payment is received. All other envoys proceed to Bays 2 through 17 for arrival and clearance. Welcome to Sanctum. As you guys probably arrive together, I'm assuming you kind of meet it up in the middle at Sanctum Yard. You see Lieutenant Black is hovering over a board with several threads running and tacked to pictures, interweaving this web he's trying to decipher. And as he sees you arrive, he says, "Thank you for your swift arrival. I'd say it's good to see you again, but it's a damn nightmare. Forgive me for skipping the parties. I'm dealing with a series of murders that happened rather quickly in the last 3 days. It's got me a bit stumped. But that's not really why you're here. Let's get down to the matter. Our beloved Lady Kane, wife of Mayor Kane, came in beside herself with grief and told us the mayor has been kidnapped. We rushed over. We took some samples of evidence. There's a trail of blood, small amounts that lead out to the door. Lying in front of the doorway was this matchbook, and he's going to hand the matchbook. Who wants to reach out and take it and roll an investigation on it?
I will.
You. So Jinlu takes it and rolls an investigation.
We have 22.
With a 22, you flip it right open, and you see, as Lieutenant Black says, the calligraphy is very well done. The letters K-A-R-M-A are in red inside this matchbook. And Lieutenant Black says, Sanctum interface ran a scan. It's blood, not ink. Must have loaded his pen with blood because it's very nice and neat. Don't think we're dealing with some scum anymore to kidnap a mayor. Coroner's is studying the blood further. I haven't gotten to go down and pick up that information yet. He's got his hands full with these murders happening as well. He was rather close to one of the victims. You can pick up the file at the coroner's if there's anything more there.
Very well. Okay, who we got?
Too many people are dying, he sighs, and he's saying, my squad has come up with nothing. They're too busy fighting this gang uprising in the city. I have myself and a few others on these 2 cases here. You're only listed when it gets to the point of emergency. So our mayor is that emergency. The founder's approval, I invoked the order. So your gear is in the armory with a few new additions. Follow me. And he goes over to this bookcase, slides it open. There's a safe there, almost like a huge vault door, the same size as the bookcase was. And he opens it. The air releases. There's a tick, tick, tick as these gnomish crystals lighting the lights go down this hallway, half the span of the ship. see your row of weaponry, your row with your lockers, with your personal gear, and a row with potions and things like that. But he goes over to a clipboard and says, "You've been issued something new from Gnome Industries." He flips the pages and he says,
So
"Initiate."
what have these gnomes given us this time? Something useful, I hope.
Well,
Better than the last time.
yeah.
We
Aren't you
shall
guys
see.
missing someone? Eggburn? He's not here.
Oh God. I think I know where he might be. I
We'll
think
deal
we'll
with
leave him
that.
here for the time being.
I think that would be a good idea.
Have to get his gear and take it to him. If you find him and he shows up, you'll just have to let him know what's been going on. Let me start this charge up sequence so we can get you started. Initiate charge up sequence 45726. Sanctum interface code word Bastion. Starting initiation phase, and there's a whir of pistons heard moving right from the corner where you first came in. And as you guys turn to see making all this noise, Bastion, what do we see when we look at you?
You see a crap. What is he? 2 foot tall.
You see a crap?
A 1.5 foot.
2 foot tall piece of shit. Oh my God.
1.5 foot tall. I guess the best way to put it would be Warforged. That kind of looks like a dragon. That's about it. Oh, and he's got
What
like
incarnations is that thing? Jen, have you seen one of them there things before?
No, that's so weird. Kind of small to be useful, though, isn't it?
and you're kind of old to be useful too.
Oh, it speaks.
Well, I do declare.
This is unusual. So, you're our newest addition, I take it.
Yes, I'm here to help how I can.
And keep an eye on us. And keep an eye on us by the sounds of it. Gnome Industries and all that.
Yes, I'm here to make sure that you don't ruffle any more feathers than you already have.
What, us ruffle feathers? Surely.
Virgil
I've
just
been
shrugs. Virgil just grins and shrugs at Jen.
Yeah, he comes with the Sanctum interface. Take these badges and he hands you each this button with a little lens in the middle. And they can fit anywhere. They're kind of just indiscreet where, or discreet where you can put them on a lapel or collar. He says, as you investigate, Sanctum can aid you. Now, Bastion has a limited number of info on your files for each of you to keep you focused on the mission at hand, Jinlu. So, if you need him, ask him or speak into your badges. Now,
But I'm always focused, Captain.
right.
That would be Lieutenant Jen.
Oh, yeah, that.
You have the coroners located behind the hospital to pick up your information, and Lady Kane's home will be open to you for a limited time before they're going to let her clean up the scene. She seemed pretty anxious to get that sorted. So, good luck. And he goes back to looking at these pictures on his desk and kind of rubbing his temples. So you have several options, well, 2 options that you could choose to go to. Arabelle, could you make roll me a d6, please?
D6?
Yeah.
Yeah. 1.
You look at the matchbook, the pictures. You've been listening to the words Lieutenant Black told you about these the kidnapping, and you're starting to connect some things and make a mental picture from your past. And you feel a sense of urgency, like you have to go and find out if your intuition's right. Do you say anything to anyone, or you just kind of leave?
Soon. I just leave.
Well, Larabelle just says, gotta go, and leaves.
Is that normal?
I don't know. I find that mighty weird that she would just leave.
I see you brought your finest attire. Well, you sure you don't want to get that dirty? You might want to get changed, sir.
It will remain as is. I have spares.
Now, Virgil, be nice.
I was being polite, Jim. You know when I'm not polite.
It's okay. I only touch what I have to.
All right, then.
Sisters. We'll catch up with her later. So
Well, should we not follow her? Is it? If it's, I mean, maybe she is just going to the toilet, I suppose.
possibly.
Jin, you are the best of us. Where do you think we should start?
Well, the handwriting, very nicely done, if I may say so. Anyone know of any good calligraphy people around?
Well, probably not in my part of town, but
Yeah,
there
we'll
are a
get-
few. There are a few, I would say, backwater forgers that may have an understanding of this handwriting.
I do believe we have the Computron, the creature of computer ability, this 2-foot thing, one over here. Maybe we should ask it. Would it not point us in the right direction?
I suppose we could give it a go, see what help it can give.
I cannot see how this little thing can help us, but sure, why not?
Yes.
Bastion. Is that it, Bastion?
Yes, that is my name.
Could you analyse this little matchbook for us? Just the calligraphy on it.
Sure. Investigation, DM, I guess. DM.
Yes, make an investigation. I was fiddling with my shit, sorry. Good DM.
I was deep in thought.
I was really...
It's not good fiddling with your shit.
Like you go blind. Lieutenant Black was fiddling with his shit on the desk and like, yes,
Oh, Lieutenant Black, you shouldn't do that. I mean, it's my message.
16.
what was the question? Oh my god, what did you ask?
I'm investigating the
The calligraphy on the matchbook.
calligraphy on the thing. Trying to work out who may have written it. I'm assuming that's what you guys are asking me to do.
Yeah, or any idea,
Potentially.
or might have any idea of who may have done it.
Okay, so
Alright.
a professional.
With the 16, you're running your scans, and Sanctum interface is coming up with basically some of the information that Lieutenant Black's told you, that it is blood and not ink. It is it's not figured out what type of blood it is yet. It is leading to the coroners for more information, and the calligraphy is someone that is well practiced, and it's not just something just casually scrawled.
So I think we're probably searching for an educated man or woman with that kind of handwriting, don't you think, Jen?
It definitely seems so. So, looks like it's a visit to the upper class.
Yes,
So
that
where
would put
were
us in our
you
quarter.
last night?
Corona, maybe.
You are educated, are you not?
You're talking to me? I'm indeed educated, that is correct.
And where were you last evening, sir?
I was scrubbing my shield clean and keeping my clothes and garments pressed and tidy. I was wearing, and he's always wearing his mask. I was wearing my mask when I did it, so I didn't inhale. I don't think we're investigating me, Virgil.
I have to entertain every possibility.
What filth and scum were you hanging with last night?
The usual. At
Yeah.
Lucky Ace is where I'm usually found.
Yes, I never venture far from home. You never venture far from your version of home.
Quite right.
Say,
Well, shall we?
piece of equipment, kit, robot thing.
Bastion.
Bastion. Sorry, right. I keep thinking kid's idiotic toy kit. It just seems to suit better. Nonetheless, I was wondering if you know, in the area where I come from, the upper class district, where people tend to spend a little more money, and he looks at Virgil for what they like. Would there be some sort of calligraphy or art area? I feel like I remember something, but offhand I don't visit them very often.
There's stores that you can go to buy the equipment. Normally people of the upper echelon are able to write for themselves.
Yes, you are correct.
No, there's not normally people that you'd go to get it done professionally, I guess. Maybe.
I suppose there would be a printer or a newspaper, of course, that would have
Well,
the ability
hasn't
to
been
write such
printed.
things.
Yes,
Yes.
hasn't been printed. It's been written by hand.
Yes, I am aware,
Not
metal
The
man.
machine.
Well, Jin, what is your suggestion, sir?
Well, let's go to the coroner and see what they've got to say.
Follow your lead.
Yep, all going to the coroner's.
As we decide to do that, Brell reaches into one pocket and gets out some rubber gloves and pulls them over top of his cloth gloves.
Rel, you don't need to do that yet. We do it when we get there, okay?
It's this machine next to us. I don't think it's been cleaned in a while.
I'm sure it's fine, Rel.
All right. As you guys,
Virgil will get to the door and open it for Brell. And not being polite or generous, it's almost a point of it's basically taking the piss. After you, sir.
Brell doesn't notice the taking the piss. He just goes, "Thank you, Virgil," and he walks out.
as you guys are, wait, am I muted? I'm not muted. Okay. As you guys are moving, you're going to the coroners, right? We are going to go over to Alara Bell very quickly and where she is headed off to. So, Alara Bell, you arrive at this place that you remember. You run in and you look around you. You still have the pin in your grip. You haven't put it on yet. As you're running through the rooms, are you saying anything, or are you just looking for something in particular?
Just looking.
Okay. And as you get to one of these rooms, it stands out to you because everything in it is covered in sheets except for a mirror. And this mirror is glowing a lovely shade of blue.
I want to go up and shiny. I want to touch it.
All right. So you touch the mirror, and a wave of compulsion to walk forward hits you. Can you roll me another d6? Five?
Five.
As you touch the mirror and this wave of compulsion hits you, you drop your pin and move forward, and everything on in your body relaxes, and you start to hear, as you're going through this mirror, a music box. You're in what looks like a padded cell. You see a little table with chairs and a tea set all laid out. There's a stuffed rabbit and a worn teddy bear with one button eye and an empty seat. And across from it is the prettiest little girl. What are you going to do?
Pick up the rabbit and hold on to it, and then I want to go and sit down.
You know this girl. Her features resemble someone. You feel so safe and warm holding this rabbit and in this moment. And she says, "You want to play with Mr. Bear and Mr. Tibbs? We were getting lonely. You haven't come to play with us in a long time. We've been waiting for you." And she motions you to sit down, which you've already sat down. And she slides a little teacup next to you. And she starts to pour you tea and a little cupcake for each of her friends and one for you. So do you take the tea she gives you?
I'm going to take the tea and the cupcake.
Right. As you do, she's going to say, "Cream or sugar?" And as she does this, you see a shadow from the corner forms and appears from thin air, very slowly, as if it's been standing there the whole time. You hear a swing and a swoosh of air. In the happiest moment you've felt a long time, you hear a whisper say, "I'm sorry, Alara Bell." And Bastion, as you're standing outside walking toward the corners, you have a row of lights with bulbs on your arm, and the purple light flickers and goes out. What do you want to do?
Well, look at the bulb, look at it a couple of times just to make sure it's not an error, and then go activating Annabelle's camera. And you'll see my eyes light up. I'll start projecting what the camera is. So what do they see?
So you start to see his eyes light up, and kind of like a holographic thing goes out in front of him, and you're going to see what the camera sees. Unfortunately, the camera is in a sideways angle on the ground. You see the bottom of a mirror glowing blue. You see some sheets. There's all of a sudden like a little bit of shake, and the severed head of Alara Bell rolls out in front of the camera with a smile of happiness on her face. And as this happens, Sanctum ID number 76924 has been deactivated. It comes from Bastion's chest. Initiating new ID number 54763. And in your row of colored lights, Bastion, your purple light that was out now charges up again gold. It's a different color. Rerouting New Guardian. Pickup of New Guardian as soon as possible at the Globe Theater.
Bastion, what was that?
I'm sad to say that your sister is dead.
Where is that? Tell me, where is it?
What?
I don't know. You can see what I see. It's a mirror. It doesn't have location on this version of the badge.
Do we see someone die?
She looked quite alive to me.
Her head was rolling around. I don't think that's a living person. Could be wrong. I'm just a machine.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
Jin,
So
I'm sorry
that's more
for
crime.
your loss, sir.
Bastion, what's the range on these badges?
They reach within Sanctum. So she's still on the ship. Somewhere.
She could be anywhere. But
Yes, Sanctum
how long
is very big.
ago did she leave us?
It would be more than...
DM? How long?
You know that was happening as it was a live feed.
How long did she leave? How long
She left,
before
and you guys were
left and
talking.
we
It was
departed?
probably about an hour. You guys talking and deciding where to go and started walking.
She could not have got too far in the time between when she left us and we exited ourselves. But an hour is some distance she could have traveled.
This is disturbing that someone would do that now, here, again. So we've got the mayor to investigate, we've got the coroner's heading to, Lady Kane to talk to, and now a Lara Bell. This is disturbing, and I think we should be on guard. Kit, you say it's possible she's still here on this flying area. Do you not have some sort of what do I say, like a mapping system that can track the badges?
No, that hasn't been activated on these badges yet. They're still working it out. The interference from the lightning towers is throwing everything off. They've got to work around that first.
Okay. Jin, where does your sister normally hang out?
Usually the hospital. Bro,
Jin,
you go...
It did
Rel-
not look like the hospital.
Bro, you go to the coroner's. Virgil, you come with me. And
Right, you are, sir.
talking teapot. Accompany Bro.
We have to go pick up the new member.
Bro,
Our,
do you think you can-
our priority is to find out what happened to the mayor, Jin. Unfortunately, we do have to stay on course.
Very
Virgil,
well.
where is your heart? His sister just got decapitated in front of us. I don't believe we're even discussing this. We need to find her.
Perhaps solving would help.
It is clear that she has departed this world, bro.
No, bro, it's okay. Let's handle the task at hand. We'll sort this out later.
We will find
Well-
her body, I promise you that. But for now, we have to stay on course.
Bro, you go to the coroner's. I'm sure it'll be safe there.
All right, you're in
First.
charge.
Bastion, please go with Brel. Virgil and I will go get this new guardian.
Okay.
Sebastian, where is the new guardian located?
His name is Abel. You locate him at the theatre.
Right, you are.
Alright,
And
Let's go do
by
our
now
job.
he should have received the letter, the decree.
Yes.
I'll
As
follow your lead, Jin. After you, sir.
alright,
All right,
I'll do the theatre.
stay safe, Jin. Try not to get
where are they
killed.
going?
Virgil, you too, I guess.
going to pick up Abel.
And Virgil just tipped his hat at bro.
I yelled,
So
where are they going?
Relb and
Oh.
me are going to the
To the
coroner.
coroner.
Virgil and Jin are going
To
to
collect
pick up
Abel.
Abel.
All right. All right.
And coming back to the coroner?
Yes.
You're
We
going to
will
meet
we
at
will
the
me-
corner.
As
Okay.
they walk away, we will meet you at the coroner's.
All right. So, yeah, let's split the party.
Let's make it hard on the new DM. Let's split
Yay!
Yeah, let's split the party. It worked out really well for the other one.
Oh, God.
You're welcome, DM.
You'll have to remind me where you guys are going. All right, so those of you going to the Globe Theater, we'll do that one first. As you guys enter the Globe Theater here, I'll zoom in for you. It is not like the roasted chicken that the lower working class people like to go. This is the higher end where the noble class like to catch a show and socialize and talk about politics of the day. And I'm looking for my sound. As you guys enter the Globe Theater, a play, Halflings on a Boat, is in session, and you are scanning the crowd. Bastion told you you're looking for Abel. Roll to see if you guys know who Abel is with a, would say, insight to know if you recall the name. Tell me what you get.
21.
21 and 22? All right. Very nice. So, Virgil, though you've never been here, you remember Marjorie goes on and on about Abel at High Winter. And you both head toward the backstage. You know what he looks like. You've seen the posters up in front of the Globe Theater. And as you see him waiting for his turn, looking at this decree, a bit confused as to, why he's getting it now. Grim, would you describe what we see when we see Abel?
So you see a diminutive man with long light brown hair and a small goatee with piercing light blue eyes. He's in the middle of getting out of a wedding dress, it looks to be, and he's looking at this note and he's like, I didn't want to play the bride, but the woman, she had a face like the hindquarters of a bugbear, I tell you. It wasn't going to work. And now I've got this, and I have to go, I'm afraid. I think they're here now. And he pulls the wedding dress off and throws it to the side.
Abel,
And you notice
Abel,
his
Highwater.
metal hand.
Abel. Abel, Highwater.
Yes. This would be about you, yes? The
Yes.
Guardians?
Yes. Come quick, you need assistance.
Right. I shall join you, fine gentlemen. Let's go.
Well met, sir. And Virgil tip his hat to him with politeness.
And your co-star Louise is like, Abel, are you coming back soon? Or are we going to have to find a replacement?
I'm sorry, but I must leave right away with these gentlemen. It's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry.
This is an urgent matter, my lady. If you would excuse us, we must depart.
And she turns and storms off the flourish, trying to find the next person dramatically, like, the show must go on attitude. Do you relay? Yes, you will. Do you relay?
She seemed a mite sensitive. Are you sure she's going to be all right?
No, you can't go on. No, stop.
No, she won't be, but we best head off. Come on, gentlemen.
After you, sir.
You quickly leave
going.
the Globe Theater.
Follow this gentleman here. I will bring up the rear.
Jen, you are going first then, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Along the way, I explained to Abel what the task is and all that.
All right.
That is a most serious turn of events we have here.
By all means, lead the way, please.
Right, you've been
I'm
relayed.
assuming you have been. I'm assuming you have been selected for a particular set of skills, as the rest of us have. We will surely put them to the test.
We shall see. We shall see.
As you're walking into the street, Jin, you roll me a d20. You start to get a bit of a headache, and you start to get into this kind of daze. You're still walking forward. They're probably still talking to one another, but you start hearing, Jin, let me out. I can help you find your sister.
It can wait. We have a job to do.
And all you guys hear is, it can wait, we have a job. You only hear him talking to no one.
Virgil would be used to it. Doesn't react.
Is he okay?
Don't mind him. He often speaks with himself. It's a special ability. You will get used to it.
Very well.
And I might be able to find her.
We
Ian
finished
just
the
got an
job.
advantage too, by the way.
Thank you.
We finish our task first, then we find my sister.
You're
Don't
no
worry, Jim. We
fun.
will find her. But stay on task, sir.
Yes, of course, yes.
And as the sound that you hear slips away, she says, you know, it'll only get worse if you don't let me out. And she fades away. And you hear the street noises just fine. And you're going to meet up at the corners. So we won't go to the corners. The corners is located right behind the hospital. It connects, if you can see the screen here, to the hospital with this door. But there's also these two front doors here. So I imagine that Jin and Virgil and Abel will probably be here and meeting up with the other two. So do you wait for them and see them come in, or have you already started talking? You feel like you'd be doing?
I feel like I'd take the little robot in and we'd start talking to the coroner at least before we see the body. We'll wait for them to see the body.
Right.
What body?
I don't think there is a body.
Oh, there is no body?
We're
no body.
investigating a kidnapping.
Yeah.
All right.
The coroner does have two bodies that he has been working on, that Lieutenant Black told you are part of the murders. But you are also here to check the trace of blood on the matchbook.
Advantage for Abel as well.
People.
Okay.
All right. So
It'd
as
be nice
you
to talk to the coroner.
Yeah. As you two walk in, you wait for them. They come in. Everyone's in. You go in and you see James Rickton. He is a very small, old gentleman. One of the best coroners in the city. And he is crying over this body on the slab. He has a handkerchief. He's dabbing his eyes. He didn't think anyone would be coming in so soon. And he sees you and he stands up a little straighter rather quickly, wipes his eyes and says, hello, I trust you're here for your file on the ink. Sorry, a little upset. I'll just get that. And he goes to the table hands you this papers. What? Who's gonna take the papers first, do you think?
I'll fly down and get it because I know that the germ freak won't.
Brel has his gloves on, but he's quite happy for you to take it.
I hold the paper out in front of me, then you see a mist engulf the paper, and then I hand it to you.
You steam cleaned the parchment.
I still have my gloves on. I take the parchment and carefully with my gloves I read over it. What does it say? What's on this parchment?
It talks about how the blood has been examined and that it is female blood. It has been 24 hours old, and it is a type A, and there was no pen or anything like that. So he's kind of written, there's been no pen, no evidence found, only examined the ink, calligraphy, nice and neat, not hastily scrawled. It looked like someone took their time. And that was all that he could get, unless there would be more evidence found as to either the pen or the ink bottle, inkwell, or anything like that. So he's kept it open just in case you guys find anything else.
Well, Bastian, it seems here that it could be. It looks like it's noted it as female blood 24 hours ago, possibly how old it is, and type A. What do you make of that? Why am I talking to a little robot? Has the others arrived yet?
Yes, they're all there.
Okay, Jen. Sorry, Bastian, say something?
Well, there was a bunch of females killed lately. I'm gonna ask the coroner, is the blood any of the murder victims?
I haven't actually tested that since I feel like they're unrelated. One of them is my niece, Sarah. So I've kind of been dealing with her funeral. And the other is Alexa. They're both high-end ladies of the red light district.
Would
Lieutenant.
Virgil have known potentially these ladies, possibly? In his circles?
Roll an insight for me to see how much you remember of your girl Marjorie talking.
What was
if
the
she's
first
talked
ones?
about them. Sarah
Sorry, DM.
was the niece.
Alexa, and what was the other one? Sarah.
Yeah.
18.
18 is pretty good. You heard Marjorie, when you guys talk sometimes and talk about your day, she talks about her day. She mentioned Alexa's a real cow of a woman. She does not like her, always flaunting, thinking she's the greatest. She never mentioned Sarah. It seems either Sarah's new or she didn't have any problem with Sarah. But Alexa rings a bell. Marjorie did not like her. And she lived 4 houses down. So you would probably hear about Alexa's antics a lot from Marjorie. Whether you relay, that's up to you.
Well, it seems that there is indeed a possibility that there is a relation here between the murders and the kidnapping of the mayor. So I believe it might be prudent for you, Mr. Coroner, if you would analyze the blood further.
I can do that.
And
no,
sorry for your loss, I'm sure.
It's a shame about Sarah. It was a real scandal with her. She was a good girl, and she didn't deserve to end up in that district at all if it weren't for nobility. He looks like he's swallowing hard, like he really hates it. I'll tell Lieutenant Black. Maybe he can give you the files on the cases. If they're related, you might want to look into those.
Let's find out if there is a match of blood first, before we make any solid decisions on that.
Excuse me, Mr. Coroner. Do you mind if I have a look at the bodies here on the slab?
Oh, sure. And roll investigation. Which one are you gonna look at? Both, like stand in between? You're gonna want to look at each singly.
Yeah, I just want to look at the first, the one he called Alexa. Sorry, the second one. The one he called Alexa first. I'll look at her. And at the same time, as I walk forward to the, I assume they're toe tags. I can read the names. I'm not sure, but
Yes, the other one is named Sarah Rickton on the toe tag, and the other one is Alexa Kendricks.
And as Bro walks forward, he says, moves his hands slightly and says, "Mage hand." And a little ghostly hand comes out, and he walks closer to the body on the slab that was called Alexa, and he's got the mage hand doing the work. and roll investigation, you say?
Yes, we'll start with Alexa. Yeah, roll investigation on what you find.
That would be an 18.
18. The first half of Alexa, the top of the table, is pretty rough, and he has made notes onto a piece of paper on the table as well. If with an 18, you will probably can read that. Her tongue was cut out, so no tongue.
Okay.
Her heart was mutilated.
Yep.
And the lower half, he has a crude drawing of the way the body was found for her legs. They are shaped with the shape of a large K.
Okay. And with that, Burrell turns to the group and he says, "This is disturbing. This girl's tongue has been cut out." And he has the mage hand sort of push open the jaw so he can look in the mouth.
Squish. Oh, actually, it's pretty stiff, so it's gonna, look open, and tongue has definitely been cut out very cleanly.
What do you make of this, Mr. Brill?
Well,
Do you have any theories?
I don't know much about the exacts yet, but cutting someone's tongue out, it can be a crime of someone who knew them, didn't want them to talk, didn't want them to say something specifically, even after death. That would be my quick guess. Though I'm not my father, he would probably come to a different scenario. Also, it seems she has a mutilated heart. Mr. Rickton,
Yes.
do you have any clues on to why the heart was mutilated?
I can't think of why a heart would be mutilated unless they had a rage issue, possibly, to be doing such a thing. But the same thing is on poor Sarah. Her heart.
Do you have any idea of what the weapon that was used to mutilate these poor ladies?
No weapon was found, but the cut was pretty clean. So it's not a blunt smashing object. It seems to be a slicing.
Were the cuts clean on all areas?
The heart, not so much, but the tongues, yes.
Burrell, while this talking's going, he's going to go over to Sarah and do the same sort of examination with the mage hand moving over, opening the mouth, checking the ears, checking,
Investigation, unless someone wants to help you, you can roll with advantage.
Virgil will give him a hand. He's piqued Virgil's interest now.
So Virgil's on the other side looking down, so roll with advantage. What do you see?
Alright.
What you find?
Whew, both rolls are low. 7's the highest.
Oh no!
Brell's like, he's been in a morgue before. He's actually been with Rickton a few times, and he's like, oh, this is disgusting. I don't. And
You all right there, bro? You're looking a little peaky there, son.
Bro, go take 5.
Yeah, I think. And he's going to walk towards the door, and he's going to make a roll.
Virgil will continue the examination.
All right.
I'll assist.
All right. Do you want to assist Virgil to do an investigation?
Yep.
I'll go for Virgil. And why did you roll for
Oh,
whatever
God.
you're rolling, Brell?
So Brell gets to the door, and he goes, and there's a bucket somewhere in the room, maybe by the door, a rubbish bin.
Probably a rubbish bin. Yeah.
He pulls up his mask quickly and goes, "Bleh," and as he does, a unicorn appears in the room within 5 feet of Brell. It is white and it has a large horn. DM, it's controlled by you. It will disappear after a minute.
What in tarnations is that doing in here?
Bro, you at it again.
Brell
Unicorn.
spits it. He's like,
Was that you, bro?
I'm sorry. Sometimes when things like this happen, I get a little, and that magic-y kind of goes off. I apologise. It won't. I don't think it'll last long. Hello, and he doesn't touch the unicorn. He sort of just the mage hand floats over to it and pats it, and he puts his mask back on after he wipes his mouth and steps out the door.
All of you make a Oh, jeez. Let's see.
My investigation was 11, by the way. It was pretty low.
1, 2, 3, 4. Roll it. I picked to roll a d4. Abel, will you roll me a d4?
Four.
All right, Abel. Abel, you are standing right next to this unicorn as it raises up its tail and glittered feces come out, plop, 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 plop. It shakes its mane, snorts, and poof, disappears after a minute.
Brell, cleaning that up.
I think Brell's already outside.
Brell's out the door, man.
Well, things are off to an interesting start.
I don't know what kind of investigation you run in here, but I sure hope you clean that up.
Seeing glittered shit.
It's okay. We'll make Brell clean it up when he gets back.
Jin, you just got an advantage.
Thank
Twice.
you. Yes, I saw that.
And what did you roll? Both of you roll. You rolled an advantage on your best 11.
Yeah, 11 was the highest.
Well, he's already told you that the heart was mutilated as well as Alexis,
Yeah, I'm
so
more
you know
interested
that.
with the leg positioning on Sarah.
11. It is shaped in a pattern, but it's kind of hard from the picture for you to see. However, you do remember that Lieutenant Black has a file on both of these with pictures running on his office. So that gives you a kind of a little flashback to that.
Well, we'll wait for the blood test to come back on these women. We'll go have a look at the mayor's house now, I guess.
I think that is a good idea.
One more thing I forgot to mention. Something very strange, and I noticed that you have a magic kind of a person with you. These bodies were manipulated magically not to resurrect. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but someone didn't want them talking.
Very helpful.
All right, good luck to you.
I'll make sure to send Brell back down.
Yes, I think that is a wise idea, Jin. I think he should clean that pile of glittery poop up.
Brell, are you just outside in this hallway here, or have you left?
Correct, yep. I just stepped out the door just to get some air.
You're outside in this hallway getting air, and right before they join you, where you see up here in the dark is a little girl standing there. And she has a little bottle with her and a sucker in her mouth, lolly in her mouth. And she's standing there looking at you, saying, "You want to try a piece of my candy?"
Burl's got his mask back on and he sort of looks at her and he's like, he moves towards her a little bit and gets down sort of on a knee as he's about 10 foot away from her. And he sort of puts his hand up and sort of points at the bus and goes, "I don't really like to, A, share food with little people, B, share food with any people, C, touch gooey stuff like that. I'm sorry, I don't mean any rudeness. What's your name?"
My daddy, it's okay, because my daddy, he gave me this stuff. And she holds up this ooze in a bottle. And she's like, "You put it on and then you can eat as much candy as you want." And she kind of hands it. And she says, "My name is Lucy."
Lucy, right. You giving me this bottle, Lucy? Little girl, Lucy?
How close are you to her?
About 10 foot. Kneel down.
As Brow's kneeling down, that's when you guys walk out. And you see Brow kneeling down, all of you. Right about here. You're coming out about here. In front of this little girl. She's reaching to hand him something. You guys want to do anything, or you just want to watch and see what happens?
Bro, what are you doing?
Virgil's just kind of quizzically looking, wondering what the hell's going on.
Bro turns and says, "It seems little Lucy here wants to share her lollies, and she has a potion or something that means you won't get, like, full or sick eating them, I think." He still has his mage hand up, and he sort of waves the mage hand forward to grab the bottle.
And have you turned to talk to them, to tell them this, or are you looking at the bottle?
I looked to them, yeah, and then looked back to her.
As you turn and look back to them, and you go to get your mage hand, she's gone. And you guys just saw her just kind of run down the hall.
I think you might have scared her away, sir.
I mean, it's possible I have that effect on children.
I could see that.
Well, bro, you have a
Yes.
job to do. Go back into that room, clean it up.
Clean up what now?
Well, you'll see it when you get in there, sir. It'll be
It's quite all right.
obvious.
Anything that's usually created in such a way normally disappears in much the same way after a certain amount of time.
So you're talking about unicorn poop?
Oh, did it poop?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Go clean.
Okie dokie then, and he pulls some more rubber gloves to go over top of the second set of rubber gloves, and he puts them on top. There's like his gloves under gloves under gloves. He's like, "Alrighty then." DM, the poop is still in there. You're cool.
Let's see. If a unicorn dissipates, does its poop remain?
What a
This
question.
is a question I didn't think I'd have tonight.
I think this needs to be decided with a D6 roll. Odds and evens.
1 to 3, 4 to 6. Come on.
Evens, poop stays. Odds, poop's gone.
Alright. Do you want me to roll it?
Yes.
Okay, rolling a D6. 6.
Poop stays.
Stays.
Brella's cleaning up
What does this
glittery
poop look like?
unicorn poop.
Is glitter. The first plop's red, the second plop's orange, the third in a rainbow. You have lots of rainbow, and you see
Rainbow glitter poop.
Richtons lighting candles everywhere, trying to waiting for someone to get this.
It actually smells a little like bubblegum, Mr. Richten. It's not so bad. And Brell picks it up one of the plops in one hand and uses the glove, backs the glove off, poof, over top of it like a bag, and then he's got a second glove and he does that with the second, and same again with the third one. Now he has these 3 gloves, and he waves the mage hand to pick them up and take them out. He's not carrying them. he's going to carry them with him out of the coroner's office, and after he gets out of the building, he will find somewhere to put them.
Thank you. As you leave.
I've recast the mage hand, by the way, because it only lasts a minute. So,
Ralph,
Right.
you need to be more careful with that stuff.
I don't know if you understand how this works, Jin, but sometimes what happens is, like then, I can sneeze or cough or vomit, and I
fart.
exude magic, or even fart, yes, and it just radiates from me. It's a condition I've had. You guys know we've worked together before. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Just make sure you're standing nowhere in the vicinity when it does happen. I mean, you might get electrocuted, or might set you on fire.
Or it could solve the crime in an instant. We never know what happens.
Well, our next port of call is the mayor's office, or house, or more point. See
You
if we
must
can
visit
find
the
it.
scene of the crime.
You're all
Exactly.
going to the mayor's house. Do you? You don't. I'm not gonna help you out there. You guys walk.
Don't want any help.
Yeah. Are you gonna walk? Or are you gonna take a carriage to the mayor's house?
How far is it to the mayor's house from where we are?
Let's go. So you are behind the hospital. It's only right up through the gates, and the mayor lives right here. You could take a carriage and make it a little bit faster, or you could take your time and walk and talk to one another. It's up to you.
Take carriage quicker.
I think we'll take a carriage, yeah. We can talk in the carriage too.
As you
Yes.
go
Mr.
towards
Brell and Mr. Bastian, may we present to you Mr. Harwinter, the newest member of the Guardians.
Hello. I know
muted
you.
your-
I've seen you perform. You are Abel Highwinter, is that correct? You're muted, brother.
You muted Grim.
Thank you, Virgil. I forgot.
That
That's
is
quite
correct,
right.
sir. It's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
Yes, you're quite amazing. You've done some of those online on-stage play things.
That is correct. That's how I make my living here on Sanctum up until this point.
That's good. I mean, I never picked you as a person who would be in a team like this. I thought you were just off a stage. You know, I've only watched you from my parents' box seats. But yeah, what is your skill set?
I have a way with words. Let's just leave it at that for now, and we'll see where this craziness takes us. It's certainly not going to be boring from what I've seen so far.
Well, it is far from boring, sir. Definitely. You'll be quite entertained.
Bastian,
And-
what abilities do you have?
I have many abilities.
Can you give a list of abilities?
Let's see, could you be more
No,
forthcoming?
I am
you
not
ask.
allowed to explain everything I can do.
in roll a d6. In?
Bastian, are you classed as a police officer?
No. I'm a
Oh.
part of Sanctum interface.
Oh,
You
sorry.
are a part of the city, then, I assume.
Yes, newly added part of the city.
I see.
Oh. So your name's Bastian Sanctum Interface?
Yes, Mark 1.
Ah. BSI. I like it.
What'd you get, Jen? Oh, you're muted.
I rolled the d6 because you told me to roll it, didn't you?
Said Jen, but
Okay. Well, I got a 3 anyway, so.
We'll take it.
all right. As Jen, I'm not gonna wait much longer. And your light that is for, I forgot what color Jin is, green, starts to flicker a little, like pulsate. I will have you.
Okay. So I fly up behind Jin, and from my fingerprints in between two, like the index and the middle finger, you start seeing electric shock appear, and I touch him on the back of the neck.
No, we wouldn't have seen this before, have we? What in tarnations are you doing? Get away from him. He's fine.
As you get an electric shock, the noises stop for you, Jin, and you hear nothing but the streets again. So it must have helped, but it hurt a little bit.
Ah! What happened?
I just showed you one of my abilities.
So this here little thing just shocked you.
Jin, I can do that too, just so you know. It's not something, I mean, and Brel puts his hand forward with the glove on, and he casts shocking grasp at his hand. You can see little lightning come from his hand. It's just an easy trick.
Brel, no.
The whole time that happened, Virgil's hand was on his pistol, ready to draw it. Not at Brel, at Bastion. The moment he sort of went to what he anticipated as attacking Jin.
And I go, the difference in between what you would have done and what I just did, mine's at a lot lower setting. It doesn't hurt, it just augments someone's mind.
What? Who you saying it doesn't hurt? That hurt.
Well, no, he's
And
probably right.
And then I do it again, but at full intensity.
Virgil will pull his pistol on the Sanctum interface and point it at him.
And Brel will hold his hand going in front of Bastion and go, I'm with him on this one. I think that's enough.
No, guys, no, don't.
I believe I would like very much to shoot this thing.
I'm sure we would, but he is part of the Sanctum interface, therefore, no go.
If you insist, sir. And Virgil holsters his pistol. Reluctantly, but he does so.
Brel looks at Bastion and goes, I don't really have any control over mine power-wise. It just goes and does its thing, and he closes his hand and it dissipates. So, but it's one of the ones that doesn't make me, make unicorns appear.
We're constantly at each other's throats. I don't think we're going to be solving much of anything. Everyone needs to take a step back, perhaps.
I was just protecting my friend.
I did tell you I was here to assist with the investigation. This is one way that the Sanctum interface is thought of an assistance.
What did you learn about me then, Bastion?
Oh, I know about your friend.
Okay, enough said. Thank you.
Your friend? What is he talking about, Jin?
It's okay. It's all
I'll
handled
take
now.
your lead on this, Jin. If you say it is okay, then I'm
It's okay.
fine. But a little warning next time would be.
I'll
would
try
you,
my best.
That statement was pointed at Bastion.
The lights tell me what to do. I'm just doing what I'm meant to. Sorry.
I apologize for being a mite rash with my decision.
Are we there yet?
You didn't say you were going to take a carriage. So, meanwhile, you're standing outside. You hail for a carriage. this steampunk horse and carriage comes up. The horse is entirely made of cogs and steel, and it snorts. As it snorts, the flaring of his nostrils lets out steam. And there is a human carriage driver with a little box with a slot for 1 silver to be put in. Whoever is going to pay for the ride, it's actually 1 silver apiece. So if you want to take 1 silver off for the
Brad puts his hand
ride,
and goes, I've got this covered. And he drops a silver in.
Much obliged.
you ride to Lady Kane's home, and we're gonna take a break before we get there because it's 7, and take a little break. Potty break, bio break, unicorn poop break, whatever you call it. And I hope you guys are enjoying the show. So we will be right back. So we are at Lady Kane's, Lord and Lady, Mayor and Mrs. Kane's home. As you guys get to Lady Kane's home, you are greeted by her, and she has a servant starting to clean up the little traces of blood. It seems like all the people from Sanctum Yard have dissipated, and she sees you all. It's starting to rain, so she's kind of hurrying you in so you don't track in any mud. And she recognizes Brell from his parents living nearby.
Virgil was wipe his boots before entering,
Okay.
just out of respect.
Hello. I assume you are from the Sanctum Yard, no doubt.
Yes, Lady Kane. Nice to see you, even though it is under dire circumstances.
Yes, it's terrible what happened to Lucas. He, as you can see, we are cleaning up the mess. He was in his study, apparently. I woke up to see this in his study, so I've left it for now. You're welcome to go in and have a look, if you wish.
This blood, where did all this blood come from up there as well?
Yes, and you remember that Lieutenant Black had told you there was traces of blood. Not that much blood, but you were thinking maybe...
Did we determine whose blood it was, whether it was the mayor's or someone else's? I don't think we did we?
No, you only did the blood of the matchbook. So this would be something probably to bring up to Lieutenant Black, if you wished.
Yeah, definitely.
Bastion, are you able to analyze blood detail and stuff?
No. That's more the
But you would have the information of what blood was spattered here, would you not? If it was on file.
If it has been processed by the coroner and uploaded to Sanctum, I would have access to it.
Would you be able to check to see if this blood was the mayor's blood or someone else's? See if that is on file.
Yes, I can.
Roll investigation.
And a point of interest, Virgil has removed his hat and hung it, if there is a coat hook or a hat hook somewhere, as entering someone else's, a residence, he would not be wearing his hat.
And Lady
12 on investigation.
12. And Lady Kane smiles approvingly. You have advantage, I think, from previously, unless you used it already.
No, I'm not using it for that role.
Okay. So with a 12, you're looking at the blood using your scan from your eyes, and Sanctum
Request denied.
what is it you've sent as a request to see?
Has this blood been identified?
Oh. As you say, has this blood been identified, you hear Sanctum go, noted. playing Baby Gnome. Baby Gnome. Doo, 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 doo. And you completely have been misheard.
Oh my god.
So Abel walks up to Lady Kane and it's like, Abel Highwinter at your service, madam. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
She smiles.
Yes. Yes. Was there anyone else in the house at the time of your husband's disappearance?
Oh, well, when I went to bed, it was around 7 o'clock at night. We have our weekly poker and socialization at the governor's the next day, which is today. And so we usually go to bed early. And I went up to my room and I haven't heard anything at all. I sleep pretty soundly. And then when I woke up this morning, I came down and found this and followed it into his study. So I haven't seen or heard anything unusual during the night. Seems.
And you have staff in the house?
Well, there's George right here, and we do have Mary in the back. She's in the kitchen, but they leave at around after dinner for their own homes, which is about 5:36 after they clean up.
Would anyone benefit from his disappearance? Would you say?
Mayor Kane is a politician, so I'm sure we do have a lot of friends, but I'm sure he probably has someone that dislikes him, as everyone does.
Nobody you could mention by name?
No.
Do I believe her? I'm reading her face as a poker player. Do I believe what she's saying?
Insight.
While he's doing that, Brel says, and what about the butler? What's his name?
George here, he's kind of our butler / housekeeper. He's
right, and
15.
15. She is kind of just seems like she's has thoughts, but she's not saying them.
I'll actually lean in and whisper to Abel and say, I believe she may be withholding information. Let's see if we can entice her to give that information up.
While you all there, I'm going to walk in, go upstairs to the study and have a look.
And what did you want to do, Brel?
Sorry, Brel was just saying. The butler's George. He lives here, you say?
Oh, well, he's here till around 6.
Till around 6 as well. Does he get paid well?
He gets paid the same as everyone else's servants, I believe. I don't undercharge anyone.
Okay, might I talk to him?
Sure. And he's right there mopping. He probably hears you. You're all right in the vicinity, so he kind of looks up at his name and stops mopping.
Sweet. I'll let the other guys carry on if you want.
You, Jin, go up to the bedroom?
No,
he went to
study.
the study. You're going into the study. And Virgil, you were doing...
I just whispered what I said to
Abel.
Abel, and then I will probably also follow Jin to the study, believing that Abel has the gift of the gab and could quite possibly charm this lady out of her information.
I'm going to follow those two, and when I go into the study, I'll find a perch and land on the perch.
So Abel is going to continue to talk to Lady Kane. He's like, I understand, madam, that what has happened here is deeply troubling, but any information you could give us, it'd be best if you were forthcoming, and I'm going to cast suggestion.
Oh!
Nice.
Okay, what is suggestion? Can you briefly tell me, because I don't have your character sheet up. Is it a saving
The
throw or
target-
anything?
Yeah, a wisdom saving throw
Okay.
of 14.
All right. All right. She leans in and she's just like, well, Abel, is it? I'm such a fan of your work, by the way. The mayor and I love all of your shows. But you know as well as I do that Mayor Kane, since he comes there every weekend, he doesn't come alone now, does he? And he doesn't come with me all the time. He has, other interests.
I wondered if you were aware of your husband's transgressions.
Yes. We are very discreet. We have an agreement that he keeps things to himself and I keep things to myself. And, Burrell, what did you want to ask George? As this is going on.
Yeah, excuse me, George, can we have a minute? And he sort of takes him aside out of sort of Lady Kane's earshot.
Yeah.
So, how did Lucas Kane, your master, how did he treat you?
Well, now, Master Kane is very nice. Lady Kane usually tells us all what to do, and he kind of stays out of the way. Kind of stays in his study or goes out in town.
Right, and he's been nice to all of you, and he's had no one, he's not hard on any of the staff here.
Well, he did have an argument with the wife about a servant, but it wasn't a servant from here. It was the governor's. Her name was something that starts with an S. Samantha, something. And he wanted her to come in as a live-in maid for good.
And you say her name was Sarah, Samantha, or something?
Yeah, something with an S. And
All right.
yeah, the missus would not having that.
Do you have a library here, George?
Maybe in the study. He keeps his books in there, but not a official library as such.
And where was Mr. Kane found? Well, sorry, where was he kidnapped from?
Well, when we came in, we found this. Looks like there's blood in the study. If you want to go have a look at that.
In the study.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent to study. I'll write that down. And then, like a real cop, Brella's got his little pad out and he's writing everything down in it.
Little notebook.
Yes. Lead the way. Abel, are you there, Mr. Abel? Are you finished with your chat?
I believe so for now, yes. Do you require some assistance, Mr. Burrell?
Well, you're the newest of the team, and I thought, me being in the police game a little longer, you could probably come along and assist me and maybe learn some of the ropes. We're going to the study to check out some blood. George says that was where Mr. Kane, well, possibly was last seen.
By all means, I will follow your lead, as it were.
All right, George, lead the way.
And George looks quickly at Lady Kane, who nods her agreement, and you guys go into the study. So, this is what you see. I'm trying to zoom in so you guys can see. There are more blood spatters around. There is some broken furniture as if there was a scuffle. There's no windows in the study. And there is like a kind of a gnomish kind of contraption called a radiator. It's the latest thing. And I'm assuming since Sebastian wanted to perch on something, he's probably perching on that. So, as he's looking around.
This is also where the others went to, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
so...
I'd like to investigate the blood splatter everywhere.
Alright, does anyone else want to help investigate? I'm sure all of you are trying to investigate.
Yeah, I think Virgil will probably go for the desk, start going through drawers.
I'll have all
Can't
of you
find any bits of
investigate.
paper or anything.
Yeah, since that's your job, all of you roll an investigation, and we'll see who finds what.
DM, Brell is going to cast See Invisibility. He motions over the butt end of his sword, which is in its sheath, says a couple of words like See Invisibility, and
the
that's what
moment he does that, Virgil steps 5 feet away instantly.
And likewise, I step away as well.
So you both
Knowing
step
full well
away.
that something might happen.
Abel does not step away.
My invisibility DM is activated for 1 hour from this point, and Brell is looking around. Brell is also making that extra roll. You can carry on while I do that if you like.
So far in this room, there is nothing invisible to be seen. And let me just write down what each of you got for your investigations with my pen here. And Jin, what did you get?
20. Dirty
Ooh,
20.
nice. Bastion? Bastion, what'd you get? You didn't roll, did you?
13.
Abel?
9.
9. And Virgil?
18.
And Brell?
Unmute. 7.
7. Okay. Anything above a 15, you notice there's an inkwell and a pen. No, wait. There's an inkwell on the desk, and a pen, and a locked drawer. Those of you that are under 15, you're noticing the blood splatters lead to the chair where he must have been sitting, and there is a knife on the table. That's what you two guys notice.
So it appears that Mayor Kane may have been injured in this abduction. There's an inkwell and a pen. Do they look like they have blood on them or in them, the inkwell, or is it just ink?
The inkwell does look like it has blood, and the stand on which it's on has engraving. You got a 18 and Jen got a 20. So if both of you come over, you'll notice that it is engraved with "To My Dearest"
on the inkwell,
on the calligraphy set. Yeah, it sits on that little stand. And the drawer is locked.
Brell, would you be so kind to mark that inkwell for evidence, please?
Okay. And Brell pulls his notebook out, tugs a page out of it, puts his notebook back in his pocket, and as he tugs a page out, it catches, it bursts into flame in his hand, and it just turns to ash on the floor, and he's like, oh, I'll try that. And he does it again, and next page, and it bursts into flame. He goes, I can't do that. And the auntie for an hour, that's gonna, everything that I touch that is flammable that isn't being worn by me is going to have that happen to it. I don't know that. All I know is that it just happened this time.
1 hour. Fire. Got it.
Brell,
Brell,
are you right?
Yeah, are you having problems again, Brell?
I don't believe so.
Would you pull out another piece of paper for me?
And Brell does the same thing. He opens his notebook, pulls out a paper, and the piece of paper just catches fire.
Oh no. Whoosh. You hear
I
the fire.
suggest you don't give him anything flammable.
I suggest you do not pull any more pieces of paper from your notebook, sir.
Bastion,
You stand over there.
That's the fire spell.
That gave you a fright. That was fucking loud. Holy shit.
Bastion, are you able to collect samples?
I do believe the inkwell was already sampled.
I think it was. Actually, no, it wasn't.
No, the
'Cause
match
they
book.
had no idea.
Yeah.
all they had was a matchbook. They had not, supposedly had not found a pen, which is kind of interesting considering it's sitting on the desk.
Yeah, actually, it's not supposed to be sitting on the desk. I made a foobar. I'm making the map. You don't have the pen there.
It's a pen holder. The pen is missing. Okay.
But the inkwell is full of blood, so.
And the inkwell is full of blood.
Yeah. There could be a pen there, but that pen doesn't have any trace of blood in it. That was an empty one. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Mr. Harwinter, if you would be so kind as to maybe ask Lady Kane if she would be in mind if she would open this drawer for us, as it appears to be locked.
Shall go and inquire about that right now. Abel will head back out and ask if Lady Kane can come and assist with this drawer.
Oh, well, now, I don't have any keys to his things. That was part of our agreement. He keeps whatever he keeps in there. Do you, your police thingies, do you have anything that might open it, maybe? I'd really hate to ruin the drawers.
You're not there. He left the room.
And I'll stick my head back in the room and I'm like, apparently she doesn't have any of the keys for this particular place. Is there any other way of opening it?
That is quite all right, sir. I believe I am more than capable of opening said drawer.
As you will.
Without damaging it, Virgil?
Of course, Jin. I would not want to damage the lady's belongings.
I mean, I could probably
I
open
think
the
it's
drawer.
actually the mayor's belongings. And
Pish,
Brel, I don't think you should touch anything at all.
I'm quite capable, Mr. Brell. I appreciate the offer.
I really want
And
Brell
I
to open the
will
door.
attempt to pick the lock on the drawer.
All right.
You guys will see as Virgil reaches into his jacket and produces a small set of tools in a little leather roll-up case. He rolls it out on the desk. There's a whole series of different size metal tools. He looks at it for a little bit, selects what he believes the right tool will be, and goes to work on the drawer. And fails miserably.
Oh!
With a 9.
This drawer is not seeming to budge. You've broken your pick.
Then I fly over, and my hand goes back in on itself, and a single series of wires come out. I stick it into the lock, and click, and turn, and pull it back out, and then my hand reassembles.
Did you make a roll?
Did 18.
18?
Yeah, I got 18.
All right. With an 18, you hear a click, click, and
Virgil just looks at Bastion disgustingly. and says, I appear to be a mite rusty. I have not done this for some time. And he rolls back up the remainder of his tools, puts them away, and then walks away without saying a word to Bastion.
Bro walks over to Bastion, pats him on the back and says, "That was wonderful. Good machine. And what are your wings made of?"
It's the whole body is made out of like copper and brass.
Yep.
The wings would actually be flapping. You wouldn't really tell, but it's like a very thin brass.
Alright, so I would have patted your shoulder then if the wings were flapping. So, I guess light fire would
I'd
ignite,
say
but nothing would go up in
flames kind of flick across your person just a little bit, and it gets very hot, but nothing seems to phase you. But you definitely notice it.
Oh, sorry about that. I'll just back
Brel,
away.
don't touch anything else.
Luckily, I'm not flammable.
Usually, like the unicorn, it'll go away after a moment.
Brel, no touching.
Bastion, as you open the drawer,
After I open the drawer, I just slide it open and then fly away and go sit back where I was perched before.
DM, nothing on the sea invisibility?
Nothing on the sea invisibility in this room. So.
I'll walk to the open drawer.
Yeah, Virgil's on the other side of the room now, sulking.
Oh.
Well, not really sulking. He's just looking at Bastion, really contemplating whether he's going to shoot him right now.
Oh, Brel should pat him on the back. Anyway. You're going to go over, Jen, and you're going to look in the drawer and roll a little investigation for me, see if you, or perception. Let's roll perception, see if you see a certain thing.
Nat 20.
Oh,
25.
nice. This is a false bottom drawer. There's lots of papers, land titles, the social things, and it has a false bottom. You start to wiggle it, and all of you will get a copy of this in Skype. See this. Now we'll make it bigger. It's a little black book, and it has let's see if I can make a bigger one. But it has the list of female names. They look like female names. And some of them have numbers.
Just bring up the picture, Dave.
And some of them have no numbers. Let's find my thingy in here. Here we go. Oops, that's you guys.
So, Jen, did you find anything in this here drawer?
Yeah, a little black book with names, possibly female names.
All right.
Interesting.
Is anyone else looking at the book besides Jin, or do you just keep it for yourself?
Brel puts his hands behind his back and sort of leans towards Jin to see if he can see what's going on.
With the names that are in the book, do I recognise any of the names that have been like what the coroner said and stuff like that?
You do see a list of names. You personally do not see any of these. You know that these are no one that you personally know. You see Stacy Richton's name, and you do see Alexa Kendricks' name.
I thought it was Sarah Rickton.
Sorry, it is Sarah Rickton. A lot of late nights making this stuff.
Virgil, do you recognise any names in this book?
Virgil would come over and scan the book, and obviously he'd recognise Sarah's and Alex's name from the morgue. Is there any other names that he would recognise?
Virgil, you recognise Marjorie Miles' name is in here, but it is crossed out, and there is no number for her.
I believe my Marjorie is in this book.
Does anyone else have a gander?
Interesting.
Abel or Bastion, you've flown away. Abel, did you have a look?
I'm going to go back and talk to Lady Kane some more about her relationship with Mr. Kane, and whether it was an amicable relationship. Seems like maybe it wasn't.
Jin, do you think we should take this here book as evidence?
I believe so. Chase up these people.
Okay.
I think we do need to speak to some of these ladies here on this page.
I believe so.
Especially since it has names of two of the dead. It's possible. And did Brel recognise any more names than what was there?
Brel, let's see here. You recognise Victoria Niles is your next door neighbor. And it says potential by her name.
Okay, this is a worry, team.
I'm gonna fly over, and you're gonna see my eyes like shudder when I look at the names. And I'm gonna with an investigation of 16. Do I know what those numbers are?
16. Before I forget, Brel, you also recognize one other person because your parents own a box at the Globe Theater, and that is a Louisa Ashton, who it was Abel's co-star and the main actress at the Globe.
Okay.
And with you, with the 16, you're looking up at the numbers, looking at who's crossed out and who has no numbers, and you see the ACCT at the top of these numbers. that stands for account. And as Sanctum interface looks with you, it says account at the Sanctum Bank, and lists off all these numbers as active.
And I inform the group that these numbers are actually accounts. So I guess he's been paying someone off.
Yeah, and I recognise 2 of those ladies' names. One of them's a neighbour, and the other one is an actress at the Globe. If 2 of these women are, I mean, the names that are crossed off, I don't know, but if 2 of these women are dead, should we not keep an eye on maybe go visit some of the others?
Well, I can talk to Miss Marjorie, as I only recently left her at the Lucky Aces. I'm not sure why her name is crossed off this list, but when I left her, she was quite alive. So if she had any dealings with the mayor, she would tell me.
And Abel, you're going out to talk to Lady Kane. As you go back out there, and I'll get back to you real quickly, but as you go back out there, what is it that you wanted to ask her specifically?
So your relationship with Lord Kane was seems a little one-sided. You don't have access to a lot of the stuff in this house. You were talking about keys.
I just don't have access to his belongings, and he has no access to my belongings. See, we married out of convenience and political gain, not really affection.
And who was it that suggested he was kidnapped? Is it possible he's just not here?
Well, I only assumed he'd be kidnapped because of all the blood. I mean, I don't think he would harm anyone and then drag them out, but so I assumed that someone must have made him bleed and drag him out.
Indeed. Anyway, I'd best go get back to my compatriots. I'll leave the questioning there for now. Thank you very much for your assistance.
And
head back.
And Burrell, what were you saying to Virgil as Abel enters back into the room?
Sorry, Burrell turns to Virgil and says, I have a current active spell that allows me to see anything invisible. I wonder if the lady would allow me to walk the entire house and see if there's anything untoward going on here.
We can only but ask.
All right.
Would you like me to accompany you, Mr. Brett?
Well, yeah, I don't want to touch anything. It might be best to have one of you move stuff aside or pull curtains if need be.
Of course, I will come along.
So we start doing like a tiki tour of the house, assuming the lady will let us. We'll have to ask.
We will stop at Lady Kane and just say, would you mind awfully if we wandered your home and just had another look around?
Well, I mean, is it terribly necessary? Roll persuasion.
I do believe it is necessary, madam. Mr. Brell has an ability to see things that others cannot.
That is true. It's very high quality. It doesn't even involve these goggles.
You think someone's here in the house right now?
It is entirely possible.
Oh,
someone or something.
Oh.
Someone could be watching you.
Persuasion was shit, by the way.
What'd you get?
7.
And she kind of wrinkles her nose, and she's like, well, the Sanctum Yard people, when they came in, they looked through the whole entire house. I really don't think that's necessary.
Well, Sanctum Yard fine police officers, I'm sure. They call us for a reason when they are unable to solve a mystery or a crime.
Brell leans forward to her and he says, I really do wish you would, miss. I am very, very good at what I do. I am not the gunslinger, I am the investigator.
All persuasion.
Hope is better than mine.
Yeah, mine's pretty good. Unless I roll a nat 1 and get a 7.
Did you roll a nat 1 and get a 7?
I rolled a nat 1. Sorry.
Look, I really
God damn.
disagree. Like, I've already been investigated, and I fully trust that they probably looked through everything, and we do have to get going. I'm sure George could probably fill you in on anything untoward. That's just not letting you.
So there's just Bastion and me in the study?
If Abel is out here with Lady Kane, then yes.
Alright, I'd like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay, cast away.
So yeah, concentration, 10 minutes. What do I see?
Along by his chair, you see a bit of ooze. It is a light, clear ooze.
Brel did it.
Does it have glitter in it?
No. What did you do? No.
She said ooze, not poos.
Oops.
Bastion, would you be able to investigate that ooze over there?
Certainly. Dirty 20.
By the way, Belle got advantage. You investigate the ooze, and it is a clear ooze, and Sanctum informs you this ooze is also on file at Coroner's, which has been recently updated.
Yes, apparently the ooze is on file at the coroner's, but there's no more information attached to the ooze, so maybe a revisit to the coroner is in order?
Correction, Bastion. Ooze is not the ooze from this study.
Oh. The ooze is being discovered somewhere else. Sanctum? Where else has the ooze been discovered?
Roll d20 for me. Not telling you what.
I'm gonna roll my advantage, and I got 8.
When you say, where else has the ooze been discovered? Sanctum cycles through and says, starting a timer for 20 minutes. Starting now.
Nice.
She misheard you.
Sanctum interface. Cancel timer.
Adding 5 minutes to timer. Thank you.
I pull out a little notepad, start writing down some stuff. Take that, fold it up, stick it in a little tablet, insert it into like a little hole here. Debugging errors.
You say debugging errors out loud.
Yes.
Playing Baby Gnome. And Sanctum shuts off.
I'll write out another debugging error report. Hold it up, little tablet, stick it in my like a pocket type thing.
Bastion, make sure none of the companions come back in for a sec, please. Or just keep an eye on me.
Okay.
You there?
Are you asking Rolora?
Mm-hmm.
And you start to hear the soft sounds, siren sounds, and she whispers, I thought you'd never ask. What is it you need?
Will you be able to help me with some blood we have found?
I love blood. Whose blood are we partaking of?
Not killing, just looking.
No fun. Jin.
Would you be able to tell whose blood it is?
Where is it?
So I go over to the biggest patch of blood that I can find there.
Trying to think of what I'd make you roll for this. Make a will save. That's a good one to take. Thank you.
12.
You don't got advantage or anything? No? Okay.
Yes, I have advantage.
Oh.
He's got advantage.
So I'm using one of my advantages.
It
Rolling
sounds like
again.
you need it.
Yeah. Oh crap.
12?
No, 8.
So you went down.
Someone's gonna have some fun.
Jin, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Tell me what it is.
The good news is, I know whose blood that is. The bad news is, you haven't let me out in quite a while. And she disappears.
Fine, have it your way. And carry on.
Do you go back out with the others then?
Yep.
All right. As you go back out with the others, Lady Kane is trying to talk Abel into some front row seats to the next show, Halflings on a Boat. And probably, I don't know if she's succeeding or failing, that's up to Abel. But she's not letting you in further. So you guys have some choices ahead of you where you can go.
So I've come in on the end of the conversation, I'd say.
Yeah.
What seems to be the trouble?
She doesn't want us to look around the house anymore. Sorry, Abel, you were going to say?
Mr. Brell, could I speak to you over in the corner for a second?
Sure.
What's the lady's name?
Lady Kane.
Lady Kane, may I direct you to who we are?
Which
we
is?
are the guardians of Sanctum. We have every right to search this premises with or without your permission.
Are you intimidating?
Yes.
Roll for intimidation.
Doesn't suck. Where'd it go?
Good luck.
Better be better than my persuasion.
Is it over
I was trying to be
15?
nice.
And mine.
22.
Ooh. Well, I
am Groot.
Didn't mean any harm. I was just saying that your police force has already looked through. But if you're insisting on being a brute, go ahead and look. And she storms off to the parlor.
As she's storming off, I'll say, well, thank you, ma'am. And with that, I will lead, once Brell is ready, we'll lead him upstairs.
Seems our problem has been resolved, Brell. Maybe next time, and I'll walk back to the group.
Brell looks at his hands and he's like, I don't know if you're thinking what I was thinking, but I was going to touch a curtain and then maybe hope that she would be looking at that on fire and while we looked around the rest of the house, but it seems we're free to look.
It would pay to keep your hands in your pockets there, Mr. Brell.
Yes, and he just sort of cups them in front of himself, gloves on and everything, and he is now looking around wherever he can with his what's left of his hour of sea invisibility.
All right, I'm gonna say it's gonna take you probably an hour and a half to go through the house. I don't have a map of the upstairs. Thanks, Jen. But I do have a map of the downstairs. So the upstairs is bedrooms, her ladies' chambers, and a little craft room for herself, things that she likes to do. There's a place for playing cards and smoking cigars. Nothing stands out. You still have your invisibility up, I'm sure, and you still have your detect magic. You don't notice anything else in the house. It's almost as if it's too clean. It's
So it looks like it's been recently
very
cleaned.
clean.
All right, I don't see anything. Abel, do you have any other ideas?
A bit stumped at this point. I was hoping you lot, with your expertise, would perhaps have a few ideas.
We have found a few clues, indeed. But I believe a visit back to the morgue and back to see Lieutenant Black would be in order.
Well, what's your
Could be
passive?
right.
Do you know your passive perception? I had it written.
Sure, it's 9.
Oh, well, never mind.
11. Mine is 11.
And you guys do realize, without having to tell you, that they did mention to Brown a maid, an argument.
Yes.
And you also do know
Mary.
that Sarah was mentioned as the niece of the coroner. So maybe that might flash through your mind. You have a lot of different potential threads you can use.
What do you recommend, Mr. Jin? I believe you are most experienced of us.
Has anyone spoken to the maid yet?
I do not believe we have. I'm not even sure if she is in the home right now.
Yeah, you saw definitely a cook in the kitchen area as you were going through.
Maybe if the 5 of us go, 4 of us in the little robot, go and see her all at once, maybe we can get some answers from her. Work as a team, you see. Good for able training, right? And then that way I don't have to touch anything.
This is a good idea.
Yes,
Indeed.
let's go.
All right. As you guys head into the kitchen, she's seen you pass through, and as you're talking, come in again. And she's sitting there getting some food ready for a platter to take to the governor's poker game with Lady Kane. And she looks up, kind of curious and open to hear what you guys have to say as you come in.
What time of day is it, by the way?
It's starting to get a little late in the day because you spent the time at the corners and then you've been here. So it's getting around.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
And your name is?
Mary. Name's Mary.
And your position here at the mayor's mansion?
Oh, I'm the head maid and the cook.
Oh, forgive me. My name is Virgil Norton.
Nice to meet you.
And these here are my companions. We are from the Guardians. We are investigating Mayor Kane's disappearance. If you don't mind, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll help any way I can for the Canes.
Would you please? Is there somewhere for her to sit here? Or for us all to sit? Or?
Not really. The kitchen's very utilitarian, but.
Okay. I'll hand it over to you, sir. And he looks over at Abel and says, "If you might like to ask some questions."
Mary, was it?
Yes.
Have you worked for the Canes long?
Oh, about 10 years now, actually.
And I'm sorry, I'm not overly familiar with the Canes personally. Do they have any children?
Oh, no. Lady Kane doesn't really like children too much. They get in the way, she says. I love children. I have 3.
Ah, delightful. Were you in the house during the evening, during the time of Mr. Kane's disappearance?
No. I made dinner, and then George and I helped wash up, and then we usually retire around a little after 6. It's pretty much a set schedule. And then
Tired too?
I live down in the lower half of the ship in the city. So we have our own homes we go to with our families. Oh.
Any other questions? Bastion, any recommendations?
None at this moment.
Very useful of you, thank you.
Was the maid's name in the book?
No, it was not.
Say, Mary, I'm talking to George earlier. He said Mr. Kane had an argument with Lady Kane about the governess's servant. Do you remember this? Were you bearing witness to this argument?
Oh, George shouldn't talk about his employers like that. That's not proper. But
no,
yes.
he said they were lovely, and he was reluctant. But I was a persuasive being, and I got it out of him. And I'd like to ask you the same. This is all about the investigation. We must find out what has happened to Mr. Kane.
Well, Lady Kane, she puts up with so much of Mayor Kane's hobbies that she was just pretty much drawing the line, it sounded like, in their argument, that he wanted some kind of live-in hobby.
By live-in hobby, I guess you're meaning lady in, the red light district style.
Oh, well, no. He actually was after the governor's head maid. She's the most trusted maid on all of this neighborhood, and she was a lovely girl. Such a hard worker. I do believe she's related to the coroner. What's his name? Rigton.
You said was. Are you aware of this woman's current whereabouts?
No. I know she left for the red light district, but there was this big scandal at the governor's where the mayor accused her of stealing, and she was fired. So she can't work as a maid ever again, unfortunately.
Do you know what she was supposed to have been stealing?
I think he mentioned a pocket watch. I think the mayor said she took his pocket watch, but he was dead set on pursuing her. She wasn't having any of it.
So the mayor thought Sarah stole his pocket watch? But he was keen on her prior to this or after this?
He's been after her for some time. He does that. I don't believe
so
that
you are
she stole
aware
anything.
of the mayor's extracurricular activities?
Yes, but I don't believe she stole, and she's looking to see if Lady Kane's around. I don't believe she stole anything. I believe that he just wanted to get her fired. But that's my opinion. And you didn't hear that from me.
Of course. We will practice the utmost discretion.
Yes.
We would not like to get you fired. That is not our intention.
Though fire is probably my best thing at the moment.
What?
Hush now, Mr. Brown. You'll frighten the poor girl.
I pull out my pocketbook and I rip a page out and nothing happens because it's been like an hour and a half of looking around the house. I was like, oh, I was actually enjoying that. Never mind. And he puts it back in.
She's just looking at you like you've lost your mind. I I really do appreciate your discretion because, you know, if one thing bad happens, then we can't earn a living up here. So,
Of course. If you gentlemen, if there's nothing further, we should probably make our exit.
Yes. To the coroners, then we call it a night, I believe.
Yeah, and maybe we should speak to Lieutenant Black again, and maybe have a quick look over those files.
And update him on whatever else.
Of course.
all right. So, are you guys? It's raining. Are you taking a carriage back to
Indeed.
the corners? All right. So, silver off for each of you again.
I'll pay that silver, and as he's reaching in, he sees the rain, and Brel pulls out a little, like a plastic style bag, and he opens it up, opens it up, and it's like one of those overthrow raincoats that you can see through, and he like domes it up, clip, 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 and then he pays the silver.
All right,
Much
y'all.
obliged once again, Mr. Brown.
You all see that happen?
Not overly surprised. I mean, he's been with the Guardians, what, a year or so?
I think it was 3 years, was it?
3 years? Yeah. We probably
you
would
know.
have seen most of these little things already, I would imagine. So, not overly surprised to see it, but still,
Right. Yeah.
we just, I mean, Virgil probably shakes his head anyway, but just not surprised.
I'll just fly up and sit down on the horse's back.
All right. You're gonna sit on the horse's back. It's a steam-powered horse. It doesn't pay any mind, and the driver has never seen anything like you. But this is Sanctum, and there are gizmos hovering everywhere. So he probably pauses, and then you've paid your silver, so he's doing his job. It is getting late now because talking to the maid ran it into dusk. Do you want to stop and see if the coroner's still there, or do you want to just head somewhere? So you stop to see. I'm gonna roll to see if he's there. Odds and evens.
We'll stop to see if he's there.
All right. So, oops. Okay. As you roll, as I roll to see if he's there, you guys roll up, and the lights are out. And is your invisibility still up, Brel? It's an hour, isn't it? It's gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gone, as well as the fire hands is now gone.
All right. So it looks like it's all shut for the night, and you're not too
So
sure
I
where
would
he
call
lives.
up to the driver. I'd call up to the driver and ask him to take us back to. So where was Lieutenant Black? He was at the.
Is it Sanctum Yard?
So the driver on to Sanctum Yard, if you will.
All right. Sanctum Yard probably runs on all-nighter, but I'm sure Lieutenant Black probably doesn't. But he would have given you, obviously, you guys have access to all the files there, and Bastion would have access to the office. So you would be able to go in to Sanctum Yard and into his office and see all the stuff on the table and everything you wanted to know. So
it's just basically re-going over those files, refreshing memories on the photos of the murder victims.
Mm-hmm.
As it now seems that there's a correlation between the murders and the kidnapping, or supposed kidnapping.
All right. So
and just gleaning any information from those files that might.
I'm assuming that you're all gonna make an investigation to kind of gather over the table and look at these photos and files and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so make your investigations.
Virgil's having a shit night.
Oh no. He's worried
7.
about Marjorie being in that book. 7.
Yep.
Okay.
16 for me.
16, Abel.
19 for me.
Yeah.
16 also for him.
Nice. And Brel?
Just a 9 for Brel. He's busy shaking out his coat and folding it up.
So Jin, Bastion, and Abel, you guys are looking at the pictures specifically, and you've already seen Alexa's pictures. You see more clearly the picture of the shape of the K, where her legs were. For Sarah, you see a very awful picture. The part of her that is shaped is her entrails into a letter R. And there are files, no tongues, hearts mutilated, and traces of ooze on the body.
Say, Jen, in that matchbook, the word was in blood was karma, was it, or letters, Karma, was it not?
Something like that. What was
I believe it was.
And I'm thinking, Alexa here, thinking back to Alexa, her legs were in a K shape, and now we've got Sarah here whose entrails are shaped in a disgusting, and I'm holding it in, but a disgusting looking R. Are we missing some ladies here? Are there some other victims with the other letters to match this matchbook?
That might be so.
The other names in that book. Should we check the files to see if any of those names match any other names of interest?
Good idea.
All right, so are you asking Bastion if any of these names match names in the file of the victims? So Sebastian, your role was you got a high, so
Yeah, I got a 19 on my investigation.
So the victims, it's misspelled because Lord Kane misspelled it, Sarah Rickton and Alexa Kendricks are in here. Both of them have account numbers to a bank, and as you're flipping through your information, you notice that Penny Forrester, who was a potential, has been missing for a week. So,
but no body was found.
Nobody was found. If you want to investigate further, I'd have to have you roll another investigation for additional
I'll investigate further
information.
For a 12?
One of her shoes was found by the Icarus. And you know the Icarus is almost like a giant hole at the head, the front of the ship, where people, instead of public hangings, they go through the wings of Icarus where they are dropped from the airship. And her shoe was found there.
So, potential that she has committed suicide by using the Icarus gate, I take it?
Sanctum doesn't give opinions, Sanctum only gives facts. So, a shoe was found by the Icarus. And she's been missing for a week.
So it is possible this woman has potentially fallen to her death.
When
or
Sanctum
was taken from his...
Sorry, Virgil. When Sanctum gives information to Bastion, does Bastion only hear it, or does it come out in like a speaker?
I would say that Sanctum says it out loud. So all of you would have heard that.
Yeah, everyone would hear me interacting with Sanctum. So every time it does the stupid, the timer and the songs that it plays at random, you would be hearing them.
Oh, great.
And Brel has 4 advantages.
For his goggles.
Yeah, apparently it's the goggles you're turning people on, man.
Awesome. Sweet.
Thanks, Cynical.
I do appreciate that. It could come in handy because of all the crappy rolls I had earlier.
Yeah.
You're having crappy rolls, jeez.
Yeah, we both are.
Hard to do an investigation type when your investigation is crap.
Oh,
Mine's actually good.
I think I've only rolled one roll above 20. Above 10, sorry. The rest must have been under
So
10.
I take it's getting rather late now.
It is getting rather late. Let me look here quickly to see. Oh, I have let's see. Let me look here rather quickly to see if you missed anything. No. Yeah. So that's all that Sanctum and the files and the pictures have shown you so far. It's up to you whether you want to retire to your homes or do you want to go someplace and discuss it. The roasted chicken is up late all night. If you wish to go there for dinner or anything like that, or you can retire. You all have homes here.
You lads go enjoy yourself. I'm going home to.
Yeah, I believe I will go speak to Miss Marjorie.
I'll go home and try and sort some stuff out.
All right.
I think I might just recharge, and I go over to the Sanctum spot, reconnect, and deactivate.
I think I shall. I mean, if everyone's going to sleep, I really do need to get sleep as well. It's one of those things that keeps me ticking, you know. Less likely to yawn hard and have a mistake.
Very good point, Mr. Brown.
Abel, have you got somewhere in town to stay, or have you been staying with the theatre?
I'd best head back to the Globe and check on Mrs. Forgot her name.
Louisa.
Oh yes, you mean
Louisa Ashton. And do you say Louisa Ashton out loud? Do you say Louisa Ashton out loud, Abel? Or do you just say Miss
yes.
Louisa? Okay.
I believe her name was in the book, Abel.
It was indeed.
Yes, Abel didn't look at the book.
No, I was going through it before, and my neighbour was in the book, and yes, her name was there as well, Louisa Ashton. She's one of your co-stars, correct?
That is correct, and very troubling.
Yes, if you would
Best head there
check on
straight
her welfare.
Yeah, I might check my neighbour since we're all retiring as well.
That would be a good idea.
Okay. Making notes. Neighbor. Theater. Everyone's splitting the party.
let's touch base with these ladies and make sure they are still unmolested.
All right.
Still raining, DM?
I think the rain's probably dissipated by now. So it's just very damp and getting dark now outside. So your poncho should be okay.
That's fine. Brow will head out and call for a mechanical carriage, and he'll see himself back to his area. If Abel was be heading to the theatre, he can jump in as well.
Thank
Virgil,
you, Mr. Burrell. I believe I will.
Yeah, Virgil will walk from here.
I'll pay for that, Abel. No worries there.
And Jin, you're going to your home? Yeah? Jin, you're going back to your house? Or are you going... Okay. Alright, so I've got 3 people heading places. So we'll roll a d4 and I'll find out who goes we head with first for... There's only 3 people. 1. So, Virgil... we're gonna... Oh, you're recharging, Bastion. So... we're gonna head with Virgil to see Marjorie. Are you taking a stagecoach as well to the?
He'll be walking.
You're walking. Okay.
Yeah.
It is getting late. Marjorie's no longer at the Lucky Ace, but she does have a home in the red light district. She's a rather high-end girl. And as you head down to there, you knock on her door. You're very familiar. She's very familiar with you, and she answers and grabs you and brings you inside. Her home is humble furnishings, not too flamboyant, not too squalid, and she looks at you smiling.
Well, Miss Marjorie, I'm glad to find you in good stead.
Hi, Virgil. As you know, I got good news. I've purchased my down payment on my very own gambling hall. I'm going to be a businesswoman.
That is great news indeed.
Yeah, I signed the papers
Congratulations.
tomorrow. Yeah. What you need?
Well, I have come across some disturbing information. Just making sure you're all right.
Oh, what'd you find out?
I cannot discuss the details, but it appears that in my employer, your name has come up as you may be in some danger. So, in light of this, I would like you to take this. I believe you know how to use it. And Virgil reaches up inside his sleeves, dismantles the contraption, and hands her his palm pistol and ammunition to go with it.
Virgil, is this about Alexa going missing? Because she lives 4 doors away, so she would have known that.
I believe it has a lot to do with the girls that are going missing. And while I care for you, I believe that you are more than capable of protecting yourself.
Oh, thank you, Virgil. Here, you take this. And she hands you her monogrammed handkerchief, and it's always brought me luck and kept me safe, so I want you to come back to me. Maybe we'll open the gambling all together. You know, I saw Sanctum Yard take Sarah out in pieces, covered up.
It was not a pleasant way for her to go. This I'm sure. But rest assured, I will not let any harm come to you. And he doesn't hug her, like he sort of leans in and gives her a soft kiss on the cheek, tips his hat, and then excuses himself.
All right.
And heads for the door.
All right.
And sort of, good evening, Miss Marjorie.
Bye, Virgil. And she shuts the door behind her. We'll move to Abel. You're going to the Globe Theater because you know they're still late into the night for the evening show. As you go in, are you just heading straight to Louisa's dressing room? Or
straight to Louisa's.
Okay. So, as you go there, I have a map for that. As you go back to her dressing room, she is sitting at her vanity, and she sees you and says, "Well, fine time for you to come. The late show is over. I've been waiting. We had a replacement. He was awful. Dreadful.
I'm sure you had it well in hand. I have no doubt it was fine. Fine, my dear."
He messed up the lines. The skull rolled right across the floor. Never again. Never. He used it as a compass. I don't know what's going on anymore in this place. It is dreadful. This is what I have to work with when you're gone. And she's just powdering her
I
face.
am better. I promise you that. Has everything else been as usual around here this evening?
Well, fine. Just fine. Why?
My day has been deeply troubling, and I was just worried for your safety. Everything's all right.
Abel, you don't usually ask about my safety. What's going on? Why'd you leave?
I've signed up for a venture that I must partake in, I'm afraid. Deeply important. Otherwise, I wouldn't leave you here. You understand that, don't you?
Well, Abel, you and I have always been fond of each other, but I'm just fine. I mean, you know, I do my shows, I donate to the orphanage every Saturday, and go down there and help the children till this horrible sickness happened with them. And everything's just normal.
Don't want to alarm you, but do you have a means of protecting yourself if anything were to arise?
You mean like a bad review? What do you know?
No, my dear. It can be dangerous outside the theater. Oh, never mind. It's fine. It's been a long day, and I've seen some deeply troubling things. Let's have a drink. I think that's what would be best for both of us.
She has out this delicate little sniff their little whiskey thing and pours in these little crystal glasses. It seems like you guys are good friends, and she's done this before. And hands you one and drinks hers delicately and talks about the terrible, terrible play. And is there anything else you want to talk to her about?
I'm going to drink quite heavily.
Quite heavily? All right, I'm going to need you to
heavily,
make a constitution save, see how you wake up tomorrow.
10.
Oh, it's not good for you. All right. Good night for Abel. Brel, are you just going home to talk to your neighbor in the morning, or are you...
I'm going to have a look around her house and make sure it's all good and there's no signs of forced entry, and then yes, I would talk to her in the morning because it's a bit late to be, rude to the neighbors.
Alrighty. And Abel, are you staying at the Globe Theater for the night? They do have beds there.
I think I'll be passing out. Yes.
Yeah, all right. So as you're investigating your neighbors, Brel, roll to see. Roll an investigation. Lots of investigation on a crime show.
Dirty 20.
Nice. All the windows are shut. The lights are open in the study, but it looks completely fine. There's lots of hedges protecting around the house. And you can hear the voices, and you know that Victoria's voice is one of those laughing with her family for the evening. So everything.
She's still up.
Yeah.
If I can hear voices, I will approach the door and knock.
All right. So you knock, and Victoria herself answers. Brel! Nice to see you this late.
Sorry to trouble you so late. Is everything all good tonight?
Oh, yes, everything's fine.
That's good, and you're with company?
Yes, we just got back from the governor's poker game, as you know, so everything's great.
Oh, that's good. How is the governor?
Oh, he's wonderful. He's just fine. Mayor Kane wasn't there, though, so it's just Lady Kane. A couple others.
Oh, it's unusual, isn't it? Say, I just thought I'd check in. There's been a string of things happening lately, and I just wanted to say, just be wary. Keep an eye on yourselves. Keep everyone in your house safe. Don't leave windows open tonight or anything like that, or any night really. You shouldn't. It's bad because the bugs and stuff get in.
Well, thank you, Brel. That's odd and very comforting of you to just come up here and check on me like that.
Not just you, everyone, but it's just nice to. They say, keep your neighbours as your close friends because they're the ones who will help you if you could possibly die one day.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Good evening, Brel. Yeah. And she's like slowly shutting the door.
He sort of walks away talking to himself going, that's not really how it was meant to come out, Brel. Look, you say it nicely. Is it the mask? Maybe I should have removed the mask. No, I'm not removing the mask. And as he walks away over the road, he sort of hiccups. And he's a bit nervous gives him hiccups, and he's like, oh dear, I'm glad I'm in the middle of the street. And
Okay, that is unbelievably the same number I rolled before, and for 1 hour, everything I touch lights up, ignition, ignites on fire. Everything I touch. So I go to my door of my house, and I'm like, righto, bedtime. And as I open the door, I'm like, oh shit, and I'm looking for a bucket of water.
And you
this
hear,
isn't good.
you hear this large fire, and then you hear your dad go, Brel, is that you, son?
Yeah, this time it's fire, Dad.
I'll go get your mother. And
yeah, and some rubber gloves. These ones aren't doing the job at the minute.
They're by the door. We knew you'd be out.
Yeah, good. The door's quite a lot of fire now. Water would be good.
And he's pulling the rubber gloves off.
And with that,
And then they catch the fire.
we will end our session for the night with everyone tucking in and Brel's house alight. Thank you for joining us for
Cheers,
our
guys.
hiccuping stream of Sanctum. It should be all fixed by next Sunday. So I hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, you need to give Jay Ling a name. He doesn't actually have a name on the stream. People have been trying to give him.
Oh, he doesn't have a name. That guy with the beard.
Yeah, that guy with no name.
Oh,
Yeah, they've been just saying the guy
no.
above or the guy below.
Yeah, the guy above Bastion.
Well, thanks to that, I had 5 advantages and 1 inspiration. So man, good work.
Oh yeah, some people. I was watching the stream earlier. It's just inspiration. And people have got some stuff.
So
Thanks,
yeah,
Thanks. It was good.
to keep it track of all your inspiration.
Bro's gonna need it.
Just a quick thing for next week, guys. Everything will be done on Yanti's stream for this until the completion of it. Don't worry about the split stream thing. It didn't quite work the way I wanted it to, so it's just easier to focus on one. So next week, everyone come over and see Miss Yanti for the mini campaign. We will be doing the VTM. When we do that, we'll do that back over on my stream. So.
Yeah. Did you guys have favorite moments? You want to do that?
Oh,
Do you want
yeah.
to do that thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll do that thing. I think that's a good thing.
Trashy. What was yours?
Yes?
What was your favorite moment?
I enjoyed it, the entire lot of it. I loved it. It was awesome. The background music, every character I loved it. It was awesome.
Oh, and then a follow-up question. Who do you think done it?
We can't do that yet.
I've got no freaking idea.
I'll let chat decide who they think that. Bastion.
Yeah, I enjoyed. I like the wild magic, especially since he keeps on setting everything on fire at the present moment. It's just hilarious. The background music sound does actually help to set the mood, especially the spooky part. And I'm not gonna say who did it because I already know.
No, you don't, because I changed it.
So I still know. Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it unfolds.
Right. Grim, what was your favorite part?
Really liked, and this is going to sound so morbid, the death of Lara Bell, which is so thematic, and it's just like set the tone for everything that's come after that, and also Virgil's over the top politeness to the gentry, or
Oh, yeah.
his hat, hanging his hat up, wiping his feet. Very
Hey,
deliberate.
he's a southern gentleman. He's raised that way.
Exactly.
All right.
He's polite
Evil.
until it's time not to be polite,
AKA Virgil.
and then he'll shoot you in the face. I think, yeah, honestly, I'll give props to the DM. This story, the way that you've thought it out, the way you put the story together, the sounds. That fireball scared the crap out of me, by the way. I was not expecting that. Again, the sounds you put in for the little girl, that was creepy as hell. I mean, I love my horror. Everyone who knows me knows I'm really into the horror stuff. But just the setting of the scene, the way that you set the tone of the entire story so far it's very dark. It's very steampunk-esque. I mean, right down to Bastion, the Sanctum interface, everything. So, I mean, props to DM. Awesome so far. Can't wait to see where the rest of this goes. A little bit upset that it's only a mini campaign. It's only going to go for a few. I would really love to see this carry on, but we never know.
Never know.
But as far as moments concerned, I would have to say, Trashy, spot on with your character, man. You've taken the lead. You've just I like the idea. I think I've got an idea of where you got your character from and what it's all about. So, props to you, man. That's awesome.
And Baz, aka Brell McBarrington III.
Brell McBarrington III at your service. I'm going to agree with everyone. Basically, everyone's sort of touched on it. The stories so far, the sounds, everything like that. I think your portrayal of the interface, which is really good, and I think between Bastion and you and Adam, your guys working together on that, it sounds really cool. Like, I don't know if you've planned it or what, but the interface is a jerk and it's perfect. Bastion is kind of the same jerk, but he's
fucking
not happy with what's going on with him as well. And the comment, your quick comment against Abel before, like, I just want to check everything's all right. What do you mean a bad review? It's good. But my personal favourite part was Brell's interaction with the little girl, man. That was 100% music and all came out how it was meant to. I think it felt like I was, and I'm a big fan of the Bioshock games, and it felt like I was standing in Bioshock 1 with the little girls, the little sisters. Yeah. It was really, really cool. So, yeah, awesome.
I want to feed you a clue so bad for that. It's the moment's past.
Don't do it.
The moment's past. So, but yeah.
We miss it.
It would have been so
thing.
Cool. But yeah, thanks guys. Gosh, I had so many favorite moments. I can't. I love Grimm's character and the way he talks.
Yeah.
I love it. And very good with Red Laura Jinlu. I liked how you just embraced talking to yourself. It was great. So
he does it in real life anyway. So.
Virgil with Marjorie, giving her the gun, and of course Brell with the unicorn poop. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brell. Jeez.
Nutty says the unicorn vomit thing for her, and yeah. So join us next Sunday at the same time, and we will find out more. You've only cracked the surface, so it might be a couple episodes. So we will see you guys around. Thank you also for all the follows, and Cynical for all your advantages for Brell and your bits, and Life in the Axis, and everyone. We will see you guys next week.
Wednesday, Curse of Strahd.
Oh, and Wednesday, Curse of Strahd. Shout out mods to Evildoer TV at the same time, 5:30 Australian Eastern. And we will see you guys later. I'm waiting for the shout out to hit. Come on, you can do it, Bastion.
It's not working.
Typing defective. Typing
is hard.
defective. Thank you, Drax. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Typing hard. God.